welcome to Exploiting Curiosity and Context, How to Make People Click on Dangerous Links Despite of their Security Awareness. You are in the South Seas A, B, and E room with your speaker, Zinaida Benenson. Before we begin, a few brief notes. Please stop by the business hall located in Bayside A and B during the day, and welcome reception is at 5:30 to 7 p.m. tonight. Join us for the Pony Awards at the Mandalay Bay B, C, and D at 6:30 this evening. Thank you for putting your phones on vibrate. It makes it easier for the rest of us to ignore the ringing while you wait for your voicemail to pick it up. Thank you very much.
Hello. Can you hear me well? Okay. So thanks for the introduction, Michael. Okay. So hello, everybody, and this talk is about threat of spear phishing and how people react to this. It's joint work with Frey Gassman and Robert Landwehr, and I also would like to thank Nadina Hinz, Andreas Luda, Anna Gerard, and Gaston Pugliese for gathering and analyzing data, or at least helping with this. And I would like to introduce myself. I studied mathematics and computer science and did my PhD in computer science in technical security. And now I'm a researcher at Friedrich Alexander University of Erlangen-Nuremberg in Germany, where I lead the human factors in security and privacy group. And this means that I moved from the pure security technology to how people interact with security technology, and it gets much more interesting and much more complex when people come into this play. So I'm going to share with you results of two user studies about spear phishing that we did in 2013 and 2014. And I will also talk about the role of security awareness in thwarting this threat, and also about how difficult it is to, to protect people. And so if we compare technical and human vulnerabilities, if we think about it, technical vulnerabilities are more or less clear. So if we found one, I mean, sometimes it can take a long time to find a vulnerability, but once we found one, we know what to do. We can patch, we can redesign the system, or we can accept the risk. Human vulnerabilities are different. We know very well how to exploit. We know that people can be manipulated and they fall for the same old things all the time. But it's my opinion that we still don't know how to patch, and especially we still don't know if security awareness is the solution to this problem. So I'm going to talk about this problem of helping people to defend themselves. And spear phishing, as you know, is a very serious threat. So when I call spear phishing actually everything that when a targeted message arrives at user's machine and it has got an attachment or maybe a link to click on, and when people click, then they install malware on their computers, and that's how ransomware spreads, and that's how advanced persistent threats start quite a lot. So it's really serious, and this threat inspired a lot of academic research in the last 10 years, and also a lot of security awareness practitioners try to help. So there are a lot of companies that try to provide security awareness training, and especially well known is the paradigm of phishing as a service, where companies phish their own employees in order to assess their security awareness and ultimately to raise their security awareness. And that's what I call pentesting the humans. So when we started thinking about research in this area, first thing we asked, what don't we know yet? Because there has been so lot of research, and also practitioners did a lot of work. So we ended up with two research questions. First one is there a difference if you send the same suspicious message with a suspicious link to people via email versus via Facebook? So as you know, social media is also a channel for attacks, and there will be actually a Black Hat talk this year, for example, where they use Twitter. So we were interested in how to use Facebook and if there is difference to email. And also we wanted to ask people how they actually reason about clicking or not clicking if they receive a suspicious link. Why we wanted to know it? Well, the hope is that if we know how people reason about their security decisions, we may also devise better protection for them. So the study idea is quite simple. We simulate an attack. We send our participants a message with a link, and the senders will be non-existing persons, so fake Facebook profiles or fake email addresses. And we recruit university students for for two groups. One of them will receive the message via email, and the other will receive a personal message via Facebook. And we measure clicking behavior, and then we send to them a questionnaire that assesses their security awareness and asks them why they clicked or did not click on the link. So this is our message. So it's targeted to our audience, students. So they are called by their first name, and the link supposedly goes to pictures from party last week, which kind of plausible for students. Yeah, they are interested in parties, and when people click on the link, they just they just see access denied message, and behind this we measure the clicking behavior, and the link is individualized such that we can know who clicked and who didn't click. Okay, so this seems simple. Let's talk a bit about the ethics. So when you experiment with people, you should be careful, because pen testing people is not the same as pen testing machines. People have their feelings, and one should be careful with this. So never experiment with people without their consent. Sometimes it's done in organizations, so it can go very wrong when people find out that they're being used by their own IT security department or just IT department for pen testing. So they will get really angry. So don't do this. So on the other hand, you cannot go to people and say, hey, we are going to, we want to see how you react to phishing mails, so we are going to send you some and just make sure you behave like you usually behave. Yeah, it's just not possible, yeah? So usually such surveys have, usually such studies have kind of cover story. So our cover story was we want to send people a questionnaire about their online behavior, and students usually like participating in the studies. We had some incentives for them, like €10 online shopping voucher, and this is what we actually wanted to do. We wanted to send message with individual link, wait till enough people clicked, and then send survey with individual link, such that we can connect people's behavior with their answers. The problem with the study design is again ethical. So we wanted to ask people a quite sensitive things. We wanted to ask them, especially if they clicked, why they clicked. And this is something that people might feel uncomfortable answering if the survey is not anonymous. So the survey should be anonymous, which means we cannot send to them individual link with the survey. Yeah, so otherwise, I mean, we could if we would lie to them, but that's also not ethical. So we ended up with the following study design. We send them the message, wait 3 weeks, and then send to them anonymous survey that asks them if they clicked or not. So the results. We had statistically significant difference in clicking rates on email and Facebook. So over 50% of our participants clicked via email on the link, and around 40% clicked on Facebook, which is pretty scary. And then we got an unpleasant surprise. We looked into the survey answers and discovered that also cumulatively 45% of our participants clicked on the link, only 20% said that they clicked. Of course, in this situation, you don't know if people, some people might be lying, some people might actually have forgotten after 3 weeks. So we decided that maybe our study design was not so good. Let's change it and run another one. And that's something that happens a lot with human factors studies. So the next study happened to be around beginning of January, and we thought, okay, let's do something else. Not just repeat the study. Let's refer in the message to the New Year's party, which a lot of people spend with people they don't know. And so all the changes in the study design are in red on the slides. And we also decided not to address people by their first name. The reason for this is that in the previous study we had significantly more people clicking on email, and this was contrary to our intuition. We thought that actually more people would click on Facebook, and we said, okay, maybe we over-targeted the message. Let's see what happens if we don't address people by first name. And then we also decided, so how do you make people not forget? I mean, you can't, if they're just lying, you can't influence this, but at least you can help them not to forget that they clicked. So we decided to send the link, the survey to our participants 24 hours after they clicked. The immediate question is why not immediately after the click? We thought about it and decided against it because we thought that people might feel tracked. Yeah, so if you click on something and a couple of seconds later you magically receive a survey that asks you why you clicked, you might not, be in a good mood to answer the survey. Yeah, because people might just get scared. Yeah. Okay. And we decided to wait 7 days, and all people who didn't click after this period of time received the survey then. And we also sent different survey links to Facebook and to email participants just to make sure that we at least can catch some funny things that might be related to difference between Facebook and email. Study 2. We have 20% people clicking email, and we have around 40% people clicking via Facebook. Again, difference is statistically significant, but it is reversed to the first study. So, and what else can we see? So, the green one is the email results from the first and from the second study. We can see that so many more people clicked via email, and the blue ones are the results from the Facebook from the first and second study, and we can see that it's actually similarly around 40%, so it's not statistically significant. And we think that it is because we didn't address people by first name in the second study. So it seems that addressing people by name is important via email, but not via Facebook. Don't place too much reliance on this, because you remember messages were different. Yeah? But it's an indicator where we can say, okay, it's interesting, let's do the next study. So, in both studies, we also looked into factors that might affect clicking behavior. So, gender of the sender, gender of the receiver. We had different senders, male and female, with names that we took from the top 10 German first and second names. And we also sent half of our Facebook participants a friend request. And we changed information on people's Facebook profiles. So this is an example of a Facebook profile which doesn't have anything on the page, and another Facebook profile that looks like it's a real person with pictures and messages and friends. And we found that none of these things had any influence on clicking behavior, so statistically it was not connected. So it was not quite clear. It was also surprising. So 2 studies, and in both studies it seemed to be unimportant. So let's look at the study reliability. So the first study, you remember, 45% clicked, 20% said that they clicked. Now, in the second study, we have a better result. 25% cumulatively clicked, 16% said that they clicked. Some people said that they can't remember. So we consider this as more reliable in any case, and I think that this is maybe the best we can get. And then, again, we got a surprise. It seems like, so the green ones, which is email participants, reported a really accurate clicking rate. So 20% clicked, 15.5% said that they clicked. That's okay. And via Facebook, we have over 40% clicking and under 20% saying that they clicked. We don't know why. So the groups were pretty similar. Students in their 20s, also nothing special. So at least we couldn't find any demographic differences. And so maybe there's a problem with how people process the Facebook messages. Yeah, so maybe they just go very quickly over the messages. We also asked if this could be a technical problem, like prefetching. You know that Facebook is doing prefetching for links. So we filtered out all Facebook bots and all other bots from the server logs when we analyzed. So I hope that I really present to you human clicks. So that's a big question, why it happened. So, what about the reasons for clicking? The most important reason was curiosity, which is no surprise maybe. So how did people express it? We asked them just to type in their own words into the questionnaire why they clicked. And so I was curious, is straightforward. I wanted to see what is there. Out of interest, I wanted to find out more about the pictures. I did not know the sender, but wanted to see who is on the pictures. So you can see it's very powerful emotion. Yeah. So I want to know who is on the pictures. Then we had a sizable amount of people saying that, well, they spent their New Year party with people not known to them, and some of them might have had the names that were on the sender profile or sender email address, and so they thought, okay, it's plausible. They would click. Some people knew that it can't be for them, but they were kind of disquieted or interested in the situation and clicked in order to investigate how it came to them receiving this message, in the hopes that they can see on the pictures, recognize on the pictures somebody they know. Interestingly, 16% of people said that they thought they know the sender. Yeah, so top 10 German names work. And some people expressed trust in technical context, which I find really interesting. So what do I mean by this? People who said they think that their computer would protect them from viruses. People who said that their operating system or their browser is safe. People who said that they Googled for the link or for the email address of the sender in order to find out if there is something funny going on about these things. Yeah, I mean it's something that non-experts do. Yeah, it's actually not a bad idea. People who found out that the link comes from the university, so we also have some people who actually did whois and found out that the IP address in the link is situated at our lab. And people who said, okay, so university would take care that I don't receive anything dangerous. And this is something that is also relevant for companies. Yeah, so people trust the infrastructure of the company. And if something comes from within, or if something is perceived as secure, if they trust the company, they would also trust that nothing bad can happen to them. So, and really interesting reason for clicking was people who worried that some unknown person might actually have pictures of them, and they wanted to see what kind of pictures it is. Yeah, and this is also very reasonable. Reasons for non-clicking. Overwhelming, 50% said, I didn't know the sender. And this is something that works most of the time, but of course it doesn't work for really highly targeted spear phishing. Yeah? So some people just said, well, I recognize that this is fake or spam or virus without explaining, so they had some kind of intuition about it, which is not bad. And some people said, well, I didn't spend my New Year celebration on a party, so couldn't be for me. Some people also said that, well, there's nobody in my life who could send to me this kind of message. Yeah, it's funny, formulated funnily, or it just doesn't fit my life. And some people, minority, also asked other people who were, for example, at the party, if they received this message or if the person with this name was in the party. And only 2% of people said that they looked up the Facebook profiles of the senders. So there is no wonder that Facebook profile of the sender didn't play a role in the statistical analysis of factors for clicking or not clicking. Quite interesting reason is that some people thought that the message is genuine and didn't click because they wanted to protect the privacy of the sender. So the message seems to be private. I thought the message was genuine and wanted to protect privacy of the sender. And the message said, who doesn't know me shouldn't click. And so things like, I don't see any reason to look up private pictures of a stranger who made a mistake. So it seems like these people were protected from the threat by something like decency, and not by their security awareness. Again, we did some statistical analysis on the questionnaire results. We asked people to rate their IT security knowledge. We asked people if they think that email sender of an email can be spoofed, and if they know that clicking on links can be dangerous. And yes, they knew. around 80% knew both things, and it was not statistically correlated to reported clicking. So, what else? We also thought that, we would like to know if we get the ethics right. If people are angry with us, and they were not angry with us for actually deceiving them because they were not expecting to get phished by us. So it seems like when we asked for the attitude to the study, it was neutral to positive, with clickers being more inclined to be positive about the study. And majority said that these studies are okay and can be conducted in the future. And so just to make sure the limitations of the both studies, before we move on to other things, we sent different messages in study 1 and study 2. So comparing two studies, one should be careful. Validity of the reasons. We people, all of us, are not good in explaining why we did what we did. So this is something that psychologists know very well. And we also couldn't connect answers to the questionnaires to real clicking behavior, as I explained before. Okay, so what do we learn from this? Targeting for the attackers seems to be easy. Apply to people's curiosity or interests. Apply to make a message plausible. So known sender is a very good, always a very good possibility. If you can somehow meet expectations of the person about the situation that is described in the message, great. And on Facebook, we started wondering if people even notice that they clicked, because of this funny result with discrepancy between the survey and the real clicking behavior, which makes Facebook as a medium for spear phishing even more dangerous. Yeah, because if people even didn't notice that they clicked, then okay, what can we do? And the next lesson is maybe more interesting for defenders. What do we actually require from people if we want them to protect themselves from spear phishing? We require them to be suspicious of messages even if they know the sender, even if the message fits their current expectations, context, even if the message fits their work and life and everything. Yeah? So what we're asking is be suspicious of everything. Huh? Logical, yeah? Okay. And this is something that psychologists call deception mode. So we asked people every time they process their messages, email, Facebook, whatever, to expect that the message can be fake, no matter how plausible the message is looking like. And actually, I know only one person who is, personally, I know only one person who is very good in doing this. Let me introduce. This is Mr. Bond, James Bond. Yeah? And as you know, he's highly trained special agent, and a lot of people want to kill him. And almost any person in his life can be a traitor. And so he has to be in deception mode all the time, and he still can do his job excellently. Yeah, so actually this is the ideal employee. The problem is this gentleman doesn't exist. So what do we want from our employees if we try to raise awareness to spear phishing? We want them to be into James Bond mode every time they read a message. Yeah, so deception mode. So if you think about it, so you have in an organization accounting, sales, public relations, human resources, customer support with normal people, and what you require for them, you want to have James Bond in all of these situations. And I mean, it's maybe not a problem. The problem is that if you want to do this, fine. Just add this to the job description and make sure you pay them adequately. Yeah, because they will have to be highly trained special agents. Okay, so when I realized this, I thought, well, okay, I'm not a special agent, but at least I'm a security-aware person. I'm a security expert. What happens if I would try to be in the deception mode every time I process the messages? So I tried to do this. So the first message that got me was this one. So from John Smith to me, CNN request about your upcoming Black Hat talk. So it arrived 2 days after I actually got my Black Hat talk accepted. It was the first time. I was in elevated mood. And oh my God, I've never received a CNN request for an interview in my life. And you can see there's a link inside, and you can also see that it's an HTML link, so a really security-aware person would hover over the link and see where it leads and so on. What do you think I did? I clicked. Yeah? I clicked, and watching the web page loading, I thought, wait, I wanted to be security-aware. Hey? I hope it's genuine. Well, it turned out to be genuine, but that's what happens to people. Next example, context. This is something a bit more specific for academic life. So as academic researcher, people receive a lot of this kind of messages coming from journals that ask them to read scientific articles that are submitted to the journal and to rate them in order to find out which articles they should accept. So this is also anonymized, and it came from a journal I never heard of, from a person I never heard of, and you can see that it has got a really, really fishy links inside. What I did, the only part of the message I actually focused at was, if you do not wish to review this paper, please click this link. And the first and last thought that I had before clicking was, oh my God, I have so much on my plate already, I can't review this one. And I clicked. And watching the web page coming, I thought, wait, he wanted to be security aware. And if you think that it's just me, then let me introduce you to a great research paper that was published in IEEE Security and Privacy magazine in 2014, where they did similar kind of experiment in an organization. And they had help desk receiving this kind of messages. I clicked on it inadvertently without thinking. Please help, I clicked like an idiot. Please advise what to do. I can't believe I actually clicked. Yeah, so this is what happens to people. And this is what will happen to you if you decide to make people security aware of spear phishing. A really scary example, an attachment. So I received this message. I'm intentionally showing to you only the subject and the fact that it had an attachment, a Word attachment. And it came from a company I'm dealing with, also anonymized. And my first thought was, okay, so this is ransomware. I'm just going to delete it. You can see the subject is even not human readable. So, and then I remembered, wait, I have a PhD student who is doing something with ransomware. Maybe I should forward this email to him just to analyze. And so I decided to look at it a bit more closely. Okay, so this is the text of the message. Yeah, I just thought I would delete it without reading. Hi, please see requested detail below. Okay, it sounds really fishy. and we need your bank account details. Okay, seems like straightforward. And then I noticed, hey, somewhere in the middle of this message, there's my name. So it seems like, maybe it's not quite as fishy. Maybe I should ask the company. So feeling like a real idiot, I sent an email to the company asking if it's safe to click on this attachment, if they really sent it. And they did. So this was a genuine message. So what do we learn from this? We learn that pentesting and patching humans is difficult. And the ineffectiveness of security awareness training has got some reasons. And these reasons are that people are people. They are interested in things, they are curious, they don't think in the moment where they receive something, a message that interests them and talk to them a language of emotions about security awareness. Yeah, they just click. And if people have to judge the genuineness of a message, what they do, they look at the plausibility. This is something that every single person here, I'm quite sure, does 100 times a day, depending on how many emails you receive. Yeah? So we all use these decisional heuristics that make our life actually bearable, because otherwise, James Bond mode is really, really strenuous. And so if we want security awareness training to be more effective, we should think about the price that people will have to pay for this, yeah? So the employees. They will have to be in the James Bond mode, which is not natural for people. They will have false positives where they think that a message is phishing, also it is genuine, and which means that they will experience work slowdowns, the organization will experience effects of people not answering the emails they should have answered. In principle, if you start testing the security awareness by sending them messages from their colleagues and bosses, what you do, you destroy trust. Yeah, so this is and people are subject to embarrassment, anger, shame, which is also not good for the atmosphere in the organization. So I think that most important message here is to think about what price we pay for security awareness, for more effective security awareness. And, the question is, can we do something about it? Yeah, because people click on things and we have security incidents because of this. Yeah, so we should do something. I don't have an answer, but I have kind of research agenda. So, for example, I know that a lot of companies start having their employees reporting suspicious messages. It's okay. Just be prepared to get really a lot of false positives. This is something that Bruce Schneier calls amateur security, referring to if you see something, say something rule. And I would really like to know, how it works in the companies to measure what happens. As I said, being in deception mode, in James Bond mode, is not healthy for humans. So, but we might want them to switch into deception mode if they see an indicator. And this indicator should be reliable. What does it mean? No false positives, or really, really low percent of false positives, because every single false positive destroys the trust in the indicator. So if something that is genuine, marked as suspicious, people stop trusting the indicator instantly. What can we do? So I hope that digitally signing messages might help. Again, it's not something that works every time, because we know from research that experts misinterpret meaning of the messages, or meaning of the digital signatures, or just don't notice them. And they can also be social engineered into accepting a fake or invalid signature. But I still think that it's worth trying, because it's a very reliable indicator if you know how to interpret it. And most important, I think, just stop sending legitimate emails and messages that look fishy. Talk to everybody who is sending this. Try to, for example, if you work for a company, I think quite a lot of companies are sending legitimate messages that are fishy. So do something about it. This would be really helpful. And expect mistakes. People will make mistakes. There is nothing we can do about it. Okay, so what are, again, the key takeaways from this research? First of all, we don't know what kind of defense is feasible and beneficial for humans, and we would like to find out. So what we know, we should not make people to abstain from the usual decisional heuristics, because they would just freak out. And we shouldn't require from them to be in the James Bond mode all the time, because they would freak out and won't be able to do this. Pentesting and patching humans is tricky. And before you do this, think if you really want to do this. So what do you want to be the consequence of your pen testing? What do you want people to actually do? And always ask consent. Never experiment with people without their consent. And maybe the most important lesson for security professionals is talk to the users. It's actually possible. I mean, as a computer scientist, we love measurements. Yeah, we would like automatically measuring everything in our networks, and it's fine. But with people, it's just not enough. Talk to users, find out how they work, how they think about security, and how you can help them. Okay, so research and evidence is needed. So please, if you are interested, talk to me. If your company is interested, I would be happy to do research with you. And that's all. Thank you.